give it a look at Myro. It came very, very close to nailing this bottom. Ended up right over here. We were looking for a rate about 0.021. Ended up coming down to, what did it come to here? Right about 0.019. Alright, so we had a wick down there anyway. So where it came to, yeah, 195. 0.0195. Alright, so we ended up missing that by a little bit. Okay, ended up coming down through, but now we're starting to get a push back up here. We're going to take a look at the chart here, look at some resistance areas, and see where this could be headed here. Right, but it looks like the ABC is complete as far as a correction. We'll take a look at some more SIs here. We come over here and take a look at the crypto bubbles today. That's the month. Let me put it on the day here. Let's go over here and take a look and see what that is. That'll load up here. There we go. Yeah, you can go ahead and look at all kinds of time periods here. Last 3 months, month, week, last 4 hours. These are good for when I'm leverage trading. And right, I can look at the last 15 minutes. I can, or the last hour, see what's moving, what's going down. With big moves, and look for some fair value gaps. I like doing that. But anyway, for the day, here you go. Here's your top 100. Let's see where Myro's at on here. There we go. Number 767. And let's click on that. Alright, market cap. I love that. 22 million bucks. You get 4x to get to 100 million, and what a 40x. Just about a 50x to get to $1 billion market cap, right? 24-hour volume, 4.07 million. Rank number 767. I can't believe that that's 22 million bucks. Unbelievable. I think that's kind of I think it's kind of pretty decent steel where it's at. If you're looking for, oh my god, are you kidding me? Oh, that's a Bitcoin. Unbelievable. Look at this thing. And then they put the Bitcoin logo on it. Yeah. Unbelievable. That has 5 million volume, market cap 23.76. Unreal. Unbelievable. They come out with some pretty crazy stuff, right? Let's get back here to the top 100. That's what we're looking at. But you can see the whole way up here, everything to the top 1,000 at least is up 1.5%. Let's go back here to the top 100. Oops. There we go. Yeah. So there's your big market caps, your top 100 market caps here. They are harder to move. It's harder to move when you got bigger market caps. 689 million. It takes a lot of volume to move. Look like Maker. It's close to $1 billion, 115 million in volume. Stuff starts moving. That's when people are going to jump in. Look at this, a $5 billion market cap. I think the big money in Pepe, as far as that is, you're not going to get them big, huge moves so much anymore when you're ranked number 26, right? 40, 50 percenters, them are, that's for your other tokens, like a Myro. When you have a $22 million market cap, doesn't take a pile of money to move it. Now Bitcoin, right back here, it's going to 4 hour. Take a look at this, right? I ended up, I think my target for this was right around 105. Yeah, it was 105. Was what I was shooting for. This came to about 103.1. So I was off about 2,000 bucks on this. All right, if you measure this ABC out, and take a measurement off here. All right there's my 702. Right there. Pull that down on top. What it did, it had an extended C leg. Right, that would have given me a target right there about 105.1. Alright, still didn't ABC. It just You know, sometimes they're not gonna just give you every single measurement, but a lot of times the measurements work out, right? Now it looks like Bitcoin, you know, possibly can make a run back up here. Zoom in on this, you can see it's hitting the 50-day moving average right now. All right, but as far as the RSIs go, on a daily, let's take a look here. Daily RSI is heading to the upside. You know, you got your weekly. Oops, you should close that. That weekly is right at the top. On a stochastic, it flipped bearish, but on a regular RSI, it's still bullish, a 63 and a 54. And then on your monthly, let's see what that monthly's at. Monthly looks great. All right, you got a little bit of bearish divergence on the monthly, but the RSI is heading up. Now, what I got, you know, this could possibly, you know, have some more downside, no question about it. If you look at this move, all right, for the last, this printed 7 weekly green candles in a row, 7 of them, right? Pretty, and they weren't, you know, not a bunch of small candles either, all right, on a weekly. This is all the bigger correction we got, all right, you know, not much of a correction when you have a push like that, right? Over here, you know, look at this push here, right? Look at that pullback. Back here, this push, you know, and even you put a fib on this, you know, go from your bottom over here up, you know, just pull back to a 50%, right? Perfectly, that is perfectly normal. You should get at least a 50%, 618. We go from bottom here, pull up. You know, what'd you get? Pretty close to a 618. All right, this one here. Yeah, and maybe it's not just done making its move yet. Maybe it's going to head up to that 130 and then have the big correction. You know, because it doesn't. As far as the RSIs go, you know, I don't see anything indicating really a bigger pullback. Really, get that off there so we can get this one here right. You know, looks like if it takes out that what is it, 112. You know, I would say it's probably done correcting. You know, and heading back up. The weekly is green, started again. This is Monday, but it is green and trying to head up. The daily, you know, look at it. You know, it's trying to head back up here. All right, so some key areas to watch. You know, as far as maybe it's going to come back up and retest this now as resistance, and then roll over. We'll just have to wait and see, but there's some key areas to watch if it gets back up in this area. Is 108, 109. Right, that's your 618 and 702. Them are your retracement areas. 108, 109. That's the area I'd be watching up here. Right, it gets rejected there. What's it do? A big ABC, and you know, come down deeper towards this 382. That's very possible. Might just do that. It's very possible. It runs back up here to 618, gets rejected, boom, heads down a little bit further. We'll just have to watch this and find out, alright? But there's Bitcoin dominance. That's the big one, right? That's what we're waiting for. It is down today, down 0.32. Look at that daily red candle. That's what we want to see, right? Want to see this thing collapse is what we want. All right, that's a weekly. Oh, it's losing that weekly support. Yeah, this yellow line, that's a weekly support. Stop right over here. You can see it stopped it. Got rejected off of it. Got rejected in that area here. That weekly, you got rolling over. Here it popped up a little bit. You know, if we want a weekly, I'll show you real quick. this yellow line, you can see a close here on the weekly, a close here on the weekly. Got numerous areas to, but it's lost that now as support. Right, last video I did, it was still above it. Now it's lost it. Okay, the weekly RSI on this, on the bottom is bearish, a 64 and a 65, and on the top is a 44 and a 43. Getting real close to flipping bearish on the weekly. The monthly, I'm right at the very top, 96 and a 94, and on the bottom a 70 and a 65. Right, so it is super close to just rolling over here. All right, we go back to these prior alt seasons. Here was your one in 2021, right? The RSI was pretty weak there. This is that one. Back over here is the one in 2017. It's pretty crazy. And market cap dominance, or Bitcoin dominance, starting to head up a little bit. During this run here, that's pretty crazy. Then it really ran up, collapsed over here for the 2021, and it's been at the top for pretty close to the same amount of times over here, probably longer. Right, we had a pretty decent one here in 2021. Looking for this thing to just collapse, split bearish here, hopefully soon. We zoom in on this daily. Back here, I want to show you something. There we go. That daily is so close. Look at it. 87 and then what? 87 and a 83, and on the bottom a 54 and a 53. All right, so it's close. I think it's done. I think that's all the higher it's going, and I think it's done. I think that's it. All right, actually ended up hitting a 786 on here and get rejected. See right up in here. Let me zoom in here for you. Right up here, hit the 786 twice and got rejected both times. And now it's starting to roll over. Right, so now you got your 50-day moving average coming up through here. You're gonna want to see it lose that. And once it loses that, I think it's going to pick up steam. So even if Bitcoin does, have more of a pullback, I think the alts, there's something going to happen here, right? Because the altcoins are right in retracement areas for their pullbacks. We get Bitcoin dominance working its way down here. Break that 50 and start moving down, and Bitcoin pulling back. We want to see the of course, then the altcoins we want to see taken off, but want to see this break here. That's what we definitely need for sure. All right, it had this blow off top. We come out on this weekly. You can see that blow off top pretty easily. Get the pivot up here. Just like any other token or a bull run, right? You have your run up, you have your blow up top, and then you have your big crash. All right, this thing is still way up there, and we're expecting it, to eventually, come down into this area here with the white line, or possibly down here. All right, so it's still way up here, okay? That ought to give you an idea. When this thing starts falling and picking speed up, and then it breaks this yellow line right here, that's the big one, right? These altcoins are absolutely going to tear it. I'm telling you, been saying it for a while. I think this is done right where it's at. You can see the 5 waves in here. Right here. We ended up nailing 6 out of 7 trades there the other day in Discord on the shorts. And we absolutely nailed them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Right there. So you had your 5 waves up. But if you're interested in joining our Discord, that's a level 3 membership in the description of the video. And there's also some sites you can sign up for leverage trading in the description of the video. But we have 74 members now in the Discord. 174, I'm sorry. 174 members over there, and would love to have you. Like I said, we nailed 6 out of 7 trades the other day, the shorts, and right there, it's $15, man. It's nothing. It's $15. Try it out if you like it. Stick around. With an alt season coming up, there's some big gains out there to be made for sure. All right, and it's a lot better trading with a group of people than by yourself. Like I said, for $15, see what you think of it. And come join us, man. We would love to have you for sure. All right, so now let's go over here and take a look at Myro. See what's going on here with that. Fear and greed index. It's actually. Wait till this loads up here. I apologize. I had to use my phone for my laptop internet today. Picking up my house signal very well from out here in my garage area. Let's get Myro on here. Loaded up Bitcoin dominance. Sorry about that. If I stay off the page too long, especially with my Wi-Fi on my phone, then it does that. Myro. See where we're at with the daily chart. Is this our normal one? Yeah. Let's open this up a little bit. Alright, yeah. You can see there I was looking for 0.02115. Like I said, it ended up coming down here 0.01988. Alright, so number one, let's get that out of there. I don't know what that must have been per trade or something. Now, like I said, we were looking for this target. I said right in this area here was a very good support area, this blue line, right? And I was looking for a potential target of 0.02115. Like I said, it ended up wicking down here a little bit, coming down just a little bit lower, but looks like a bottom. Okay, so let's get this stuff off here, clean this chart up a little bit, and take a look here. Well, we were very close. That's one of the other trades we won over there. Myro, Popcat, Render. There was a bunch of them. Like I said, 6 out of 7, and the one loss was nothing. Really, it wasn't much of a trade, but I'm counting it anyway. All right, now we take a look at this. Could this be the bottom? It could be, right? Definitely. Let's take a measurement with the fib and see where we're at, right? As far as the Fibonacci pullback, go right off our bottom, pull this up. Oh yeah, right on a 702. Boom. Bouncing right off there. Now, if you would have took, normally you would take, the width of the wedge and put it on the breakout or breakdown. That would have went much lower. Look at that. Unbelievable. Possibly that would have down to a penny, right? That's crazy. It was but that's normally how you get your target, for your price target. What I did here is I took an ABC and measured it out. And you'll learn this stuff if you get to level 3. Like I said, you get 10 hours of videos with that Discord membership. 20 videos, over 10 hours of them. I teach all this stuff in them videos, and you get that too with the Discord. So you definitely get your money's worth, right? Here you had a 618 right here. That's a typical and a 702 really. That's where could have went up either one here. A 702 target would have been, let's see, that gave you 0.02. Shoot, keep flinching here. About 0.021, right where I had, right? And the 618, when you pull it down, that one went to That one actually hit target 1970 right there. All right, so perfect A, B, C. Hit bottom. Correction should be over. All right, that's a corrective structure. It actually nailed the target on this thing, and we're looking for a push back up here. All right, you can see that both of these, I'm going to extend this out, because that's going to become eventual resistance, and extend this out, right? Because these still are valid lines coming through here of resistance. Now was support in here, right? This was support, and now it's lost that. Now both these are resistance areas. If we take a look here at the daily RSI, right at the bottom, looks good. 18 and a 15. Looking a little weak because of the the pull down, and obviously got a red daily on there. The weekly, see where it's at. It is actually bearish. It's 64 and a 77. And on the bottom, on a regular RSI, it's at a 42 and a 41. Right, trying to turn back up. And your monthly. I don't have a monthly. Let's look here at 12 hour and see where that's at. And it all depends on what happens with Bitcoin's done retracing or not, and Bitcoin dominance. I think Bitcoin's going to run up. I think even if it does pull back, I think dominance is going to start crashing, and the altcoins are going to start running. It has to happen sometime. When not a better time than now, I guess. Really, so we've been watching for that for sure. Want to see these altcoins, start going. It'd be a great time. Got completed ABC. We're looking for pushes up. 12-hour RSI looks good. The 8-hour, let's see where that's at. The 8-hour still heading to the upside, looking good. Alright, so if we come in here on the daily, let's put a fib on here, right? Because we're going to be watching for some areas here. Even from this low here, a 618 or 702 is up over both of these areas. It's up here at 3 cents. We're going to be looking for retracements back up into here, 3.335 up in that area. Okay, this ABC, like I said, that should be it. ABC correction done and go. Maybe what this is working on down here, it could pull back a little bit, maybe for a wave 2, and start a 5-wave run up here, and especially on a daily chart. You could have a something like this going on. Wave 1, wave 2 pullback, wave 3, I don't know, wave 4, maybe hits it the first time, gets rejected, big wave 4 pullback, and then a big wave 5 up. I don't know how it's going to play out, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that, because when you go in the lower time frames here, like a 4, you can see this pattern building up across there. I apologize. It's a little slow on some of them here with my phone, my internet, off my internet. You see this building through here. You do have this 4-hour. You do have a support line coming through here. You're not want to get a see broke. Coming right up, about like that. Right up through here. Now let's see what kind of pullback we have had here. Let's go off the low. Pull this up. So we had a 50% pullback here. So this thing could start going. We had a wick out. We made a higher high here with this 4-hour wick right here. So it looks like it's getting ready. If I was looking to long this, I would definitely be down on the smaller time frames and seeing if we're forming a smaller 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That 4-hour right at the top, it's still bullish, 84 and a 78. I'll be looking for a move up on this for sure. like I said, looks like this could be done. You know, you could have this one, this two back to the 50%, and a three-wave start on here. And, you know, see how it works out. Let's take a look here at. Let me get back out here to the daily. This should load up. There it goes. I was gonna say it should load up a little bit faster. Like I said, you got a trend line starting here too. You're gonna want to see it hold on to that. All right, so definitely keep an eye on Myro here. Gonna be making some moves weekly. Let's see if there's any big resistance areas here. Right now we're on a very good support area also. Right through here. That's why it was having such a hard time there. That's what you seen all that on the 4 hour. Right about, what's that at? 2280. Is that where it's at? It's at 2277. Alright, let's pull this up a little bit and zoom in and we can tell a little bit more. Yeah, this line actually should be more. Yeah, so it hasn't really overtaken it yet. It's taken the one on the weekly, which you have numerous here, right about. You know, they're all a little bit different, right? But these two here, you know, 2279, 2280. Here eventually, once it breaks, 2283. That'd be a really good one to take out. That would get all these weekly closes out of the way through here. That's why it's having a little bit of a trouble right now. It has all that weekly stuff to get through down here, you know, and then you see the big moves it could make, because the next weekly area is way up here at 0.027, right there. Okay, so pretty big gap there if this thing gets going. Right, that's right up through. Let's get this bib up here. Right up through here. You know, potentially what? It breaks up through there. That's a pretty decent move. You know, you could get a pretty good run here. You know, got a fair value gap here. It needs filled. Right here on the daily. Right up through here. This gap. Let's see here. I'll show you. Oh, fair value gaps, that's for sure. Okay, right through here. All that needs filled yet. Up through there. This one here. Yeah, this all needs filled on the daily. Then you go up here, you have another fair value gap. You know, from here. No candle there, you know. Right up through here, really. All this needs filled. Now I can turn it on here. There you go. Let me get this off here. Right here. There's the one I was just showing you down here. But it doesn't, like you see this wick here down on this red candle, that should be filled, but it doesn't do that. It shows you the whole thing, what was there too. But I've just shown you it needs to fill that, you know. And it's got this big one up here. This is on a daily, right? So, got some pretty big gaps to fill yet. On its way back up, you know, we're looking for a retracement. These areas down here, who knows? I mean, they might never get filled. I don't know. I don't know if they will or not. Usually a bear market, you know, when you have your collapse down, that's your lower ones usually that might get filled. But overall, man, Myro, you would think this thing is just gonna make a big move. You know, look at this. I mean, look at that. What? The big overall picture of this thing. It's way down here yet. Way down here. What? 2 cents, right? We were up here. I remember all this at 28 cents and all that up through here. I remember all that for sure. You know, if you turn that fair value gap on, look at all these gaps up through here yet. That's why a retracement up to this area, I would not be shocked at all. That's a 618 and a 702. Right, go up this top. This is a weekly, right? Okay. But that's your 618 and 702. Look at all these gaps up to here. They haven't been filled yet. These are these price moves over here. And all these gaps up here. That's on the weekly. Let's look at the monthly. See what we got here. Got a big gap down here where we are at currently. This one goes up to 5, 5, 6, 5, 6. Starts at 3, 3. That could be a huge. It could be a big push right there. A big price move because there's no resistance in there at all. None on a monthly anyway. That's a pretty big move. What is that? That's like a 70% move right there. That whole gap needs filled yet, right? And it will. I truly believe it will. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will talk to you very, very soon. It looks like nothing, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I'm thinking these bottoms are in here. I mean, completed ABC patterns. Usually that is what you get at the end of a push up. And we had our 5 waves up and ABC correction, pull back to a 702. And this thing should be starting to move. The fair value gap here up to 0.0258. Could get a pretty decent sized move here. Myro could start moving pretty good here. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Go join up for that level 3 membership. Would love to have you over in Discord. Have a great day, and please hit that like and subscribe. I would love to have you. I'm a small YouTuber. I think 6,200 subscribers now. I'd love to have you on board. So I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for watching my channel, and have a great day.